Hello everyone. Today we're going to discuss the next topic in the chapter, and the chapter name is data handling. So what are we going to discuss today? The topic is use of bar graphs with a different purpose. So we'll be using different kinds of bar graphs and how to use them for different purpose we are going to learn today in this video. So let us begin. And before beginning how to use the bar graphs, let us first have a prerequisite knowledge, or you can say some introduction with the bar graphs. Already you got bar graphs in your previous class, that is in class 6. So let us first have some little bit glimpse of what we have learned. So in the introduction part, let us first introduce ourselves with the graphs. So I hope everyone has a graph book with you at the moment. So your graph paper would look like this. Now, here are some basic things you should know beforehand. First thing is that what are the axes? The lines that we draw are called the axes. So can you say how many axes are there? Yes, there are two axes, the x-axis and the y-axis. And the point of intersection of these two axes, it is denoted by what you can say here O. As you can see in the screen, the O, this O is nothing but it is the origin where both the axes meet. Now both the axes are mutually perpendicular. The angle made by both the axes is 90 degrees. So they are mutually perpendicular. Now we can further divide this axis, x-axis and the y-axis, into the positive and the negative sides. That is the positive x-axis and the negative x-axis, the positive y-axis and the negative y-axis. And as a result of which, you can see some numbers are written negative while some numbers are written positive. Now although in this figure it is given in such a way, but let me explain part by part what are these. So on the right hand side, as you can see on the screen, where it is written x, so this is from the origin towards this, it will go till infinity. Although in the paper we have drawn till here, but it is given by an arrow sign, that means it will go up to infinity. So right from this origin towards the right side, it is the positive x-axis, and on the opposite side, x, where it is written x dash, it is the negative x-axis. Similarly, above, where it is written y, this is the positive y-axis, and below, this is the negative y-axis, denoted by y dash, o y dash. Okay, so now I would prefer you to write these numbers on the y-axis, whatever numbers are written, on the left hand side. By convention, means by the actual process, it is written on the left hand side. Although in the screen you can see it is written on the right hand side, but I would prefer you to write on the left hand side. It is more what you can say preferable. Clear? So this was all about how to draw the axis on the graph. Now next important thing, while drawing or plotting anything on the graph, one of the most important thing that you need to know is what is called the scale. So how to choose the scale? Okay, now here scale doesn't mean the ruler, but here scale means the distance between two values that is given on the graph. So for this, let us see one example here. So as you can see, this is a bar graph. It is quite obvious this is a bar graph. These structures, what you can see, or these drawings, what you can see on the graph, these are all bar graphs. Clear? Now how to choose the scale? Now here the scale is already given. One small division is equal to 5 bulbs because it is related to bulbs, number of bulbs which are sold in different number of days of the week. Now simply, say for example, if it was not bulbs or anything else, simply if there were numbers here written 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever on the x-axis as well as on the y-axis. So how to choose the scale? Now if you see here carefully, in the graph paper, there are these boxes. You can see these big boxes. These are the big boxes, and inside this big box there are some small boxes. You can see that carefully. If you see on your graph paper at the moment, there are some small boxes inside these big boxes. Clear? Now you have to count how many small boxes are there. Say there might be 5 small boxes inside this big box, or there might be 10 small boxes. In this case, although the picture is not that clear, but I can say from my visibility, I can say that there are 10 small boxes here. So my scale will be 10 small boxes equals to 1 unit. Clear? In some graph papers, it is 5 small boxes. So you can write 5 small boxes equals to 1 unit. So this 5 small box is the what is called the scale. Somewhere it is the 10 small boxes. Okay. That means for a unit distance, our main thing to concentrate on is what is called the gapping. The gapping is a 1 unit, and how much this 1 unit is, that is equal to how much. So that is called the scale. Say 1 unit is equal to 5 small boxes, or 1 unit can be 10 small boxes. It will depend. Clear? So that gapping, that distance is called the scale. Clear? So in this case, they have considered one small division. Means this division, although there are two boxes, so they are not written in terms of boxes, they are written in terms of division. So this one division will signify, means the gapping will signify 5 bulbs. Clear? Now let's move on to the what is called the examples. So let us see example 8. It is given in your textbook. So instead of looking at the screen, you can directly look in your book itself, because the screen might not be that clearly visible. So now here it is given 200 students of 6th and 7th class were asked to name their favorite colors so as to decide upon what should be the color of their school building. Okay. Now class 6, 7 students are asked to give their own opinion regarding what color should be put in the school building. So different students would give different views. So here also one table is given to you where the data is given that these are the colors: red, green, blue, yellow and orange. And this many students have voted or gave their opinion with regard to that color. So red, 43 students told red color should be given in the school building. Some 19 students told green color, 55 students told blue color, 49 students told yellow color, and 34 students told orange color should be given in the school building. Now we need to plot this on the graph with the help of bar graphs. And then after that we have to answer these 2 questions. So we'll come to the questions later on. Let us see how the graph is being plotted. So this is the graph. This graph is also given in your textbook. Now here, first of all, you have to draw the axis. Now you might be thinking why the negative axes are not drawn here. The negative axes are not drawn here because it is not required in this question. If there were some negative values, then we would have plotted the negative axis as well. But generally, the values that are given to you are positive values. So we will only plot the positive x-axis and positive y-axis, and we will name it as y and x with the origin as O. Clear? Now, here the colors are given to you: red, green, blue, yellow, orange. And here the scale is given to you. Now what is the scale here? 0 to 10, 10 to 20. So what is the difference here? 10. So that's why it is written 1 unit is equal to 10 students. This gapping, 10 students, it has been increased. So the scale will be 10 units. 1 unit is equal, 10 students. 1 unit is equal to 10 students. Clear? So you draw this. After drawing, that means here how many boxes you have to give the gapping? You can give one box gapping you can give. So here inside that one box there will be maybe 5 small boxes or 10 small boxes, whatever. So that gapping should be 10, 10, 10. Clear? Now you need to draw it. First value is given 43. So till 40 you will go, and then 3 more boxes you can go. Clear? Similarly, green 19, so it will be just near 20. Then blue, it is 55. Then yellow, it will be 49, and orange, it will be 34. Now one more thing you should remember is this gapping between the two bars should be uniform. If this gapping you have given, say, two big boxes gapping you have given, then here also it should be two big boxes, here also two big boxes, here also two big boxes, as well as here also. And if you have given a gap of one big box, one big square box, then it should be all the same. Clear? And here in between 30 and 40 or any, say 10 or 20 or 0 and 10, here how many small boxes will be there? Say 10 small boxes. So each box will represent one value. So it will be 0, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have not written the middle values. We have directly written 10, 20, 30, 40. Because here our scale is such a way given, 1 unit is equal to 10 students. So we have written in such a way. But that doesn't mean the other values are not there. Other values are definitely there. So we have just not written them. And just looking at those small boxes, we can count those values which are not written here. Say for example, as I have said, 43. So till 40 it is given. It is clearly seen. Now what about 3? Then 3 small boxes we can count, and there we have to draw this line. Clear? Now next let us see another example. Example 9. Here also one data is given to you, and it is the data of 6 children, Ajay, Bali, Dipti, Fayaz, Gitika and Hari. And their marks are given out of 600. Here also we have to draw a bar graph. Similar way, we have to draw a bar graph. Here the scale will be different, of course. The scale will vary from graph to graph. Okay, and scale you can choose by your own as well. It is not hard and fast rule is not there that you have to choose 100 only. This gapping should be 100 only. No, it can be 50 also. It can be 10 also. But the gapping should be convenient so that it can fit in your graph paper. The gapping should not be such that it doesn't fit only in your graph paper. It should be within the graph paper. So they have taken 1 unit as 100 marks. So the gapping between the units are 100. 1 unit distance is 100 gapping they have taken. 100, then 0 to 100, then 100, again 100, that is 200, then again 100, 300, then 400, then 500, then 600. So in this way they have proceeded. Clear? Again same thing. These gappings should be uniform. And again, first of all, what is given? 450. So till 400 it will go, and between 400 and 500 there are 10 small boxes. Say suppose it may be 5 small boxes as well. So if it is 10 small boxes, then the one small box will represent 10. Clear? Since this one big box will represent what is called 100. So yes, 100. So one small box will represent 10 because there are 10 small boxes. No? Clear? So although it is not shown here in your graph paper, it will be like that. So that small 10 boxes, each box will represent the value 10 marks. Okay. So in a similar way, you have to see the graph and you have to plot the bar graph. Clear? Now there is another type of bar graph that is given in your book. Sometimes it is asked, here the comparison is done for only the total marks in a particular exam. Say if this thing occurs for 2 exams, say half yearly and your final exam, if you have to compare, means on similar kind of a data, but there are 2 sets of data, if you have to compare, then how will you draw the bar graph? So there is another kind of bar graph whose name is called the double bar graph. So this double bar graph, generally it is used to compare the same set, 2 sets of data of the same type of graph, means same type of observation you can say, or you can say that, as I said in the example, that if you have to compare the marks of the half yearly and annual of the same student, then you have to draw here a bar graph. So let us see one example, it will be clear to you. Say here it is given in case of Margaret and in Aberdeen. So these are probably the name of 2 places. and here it is given January, February, March, April. These are the months, and how many hours of sunshine remains during these particular months. So if you have to compare at the same time in the Margaret and in Aberdeen the time, then what you need to do is that you have to use a double bar graph. So let us see the double bar graph. Here you can see, and while giving the double bar graph, one more thing you should write is in the graph is you should what is called make a comparison. Otherwise it will not be possible. If you draw both the graphs in a similar way, it will not be possible to distinguish which bar graph is representing which value, which set of data. So here Margaret is kept as it is and Aberdeen is shaded. So now you can easily understand which is Aberdeen and which is Margaret, and rest of the things are as it is. And one more interesting thing in double bar graph is the other graph is just attached to it. It is not like that one graph is done, then there is a gap and another graph. No, since both the bar graphs are representing the same thing, isn't it? They are representing the average hour of sunshine here, so they are attached. Yes, there will be gap between two different kinds of what is called datas. Like for January and for February, there will be gapping between January and February, but the value for January in case of Margaret and the value for what is called Aberdeen in January will be attached together, as you can see. Clear? Then similarly you have to draw the bars, and here also you have to give the scale. Here 1 unit, here the other values are not written, as you can see 0, here should be 1, they have directly written 2, so you could have written here 1. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you have to plot the graph, bar graph. Clear? Now one more thing is here given that this fractional value. So don't get confused. It is in mixed fraction, you have to convert to improper fraction. Clear? Now don't convert it to decimal, that will be a little bit complicated thing. So here it will be how much? 3 by 2. Okay, so generally this kind of datas are not given. I don't know why this kind of data is given here in this question. This is directly from the textbook, but generally the numbers that are given are whole numbers. In 99% of the case, the numbers that will be given to you in the data are whole numbers. Clear? So here only I have seen just now that the values that are given are fractional values, but nothing to worry about. Even if it is fractional, you can easily plot it. 3 by 2 is, obviously it is known, it is 1.5. So why I didn't say you to convert to decimal, because the other values are in numbers, not in are in whole numbers. Okay, so even if you want, you can convert, you can just calculate and see, so that you can plot it in the graph. So 3 by 2 will be 1.5 the value, so it will be 1. If 1 is here, then it will be between 1 and 2. So as you can see, this is between 1 and 2. Similarly here 3 2s are 6, 7 by 2, that will be 3.5. So it will be in between 3 and 4. Clear? Here 3 and 4. So that way you can calculate. But while writing, you either write it in fraction or in mixed fraction. You can keep it as it is. Just you calculate it and find the value where it lies. Clear? Now let us see the last example. That is example 10. Now here also you have to draw what is called the double bar graph. As I said a while ago, that if you have to compare the marks of a student obtained in two different exams, then you have to use a double bar graph. Here also quarterly and half yearly, the marks are given of different students. Now you have to compare them in which exam he or she did better performance. So this is how you draw, as you can see. Now let us go back. Let us go back to the part where we have missed one thing. Yes, here. Now some questions may be given to you. Well, after you draw the bar graph, some again extra questions may be asked. Say for example here, which is the most preferred color and which is the least preferred? So directly, either you can say it from the table itself, but it is better you see from the graph, because graph will give you a better representation. Sometimes the numbers are very nearby, so you can directly see from the graph itself and answer this. Which color is most preferred? Obviously this one, since this building, you can see it's not a building, it's a bar. This bar is the tallest, so this value represents the blue color. So obviously the answer will be blue. Next one, how many colors are there in all? What are they? So this is very easy. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 colors in all, and the names you should write: red, green, blue, yellow, orange. So I hope you all have understood how to draw the bar graphs and how to draw the double bar graphs, when to draw the double bar graphs, how to plot them on the graph. Clear? So you can try it out, other examples in the book or other questions given in the exercise. So that way you can practice more and more on how to interpret the data and how to plot them on the graph paper. So that's it then for today. Thank you and have a nice day.